Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Airships Conquer the Skies with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome to what is most likely the final design of the season. Today, I want to build a capital ship. Now, most likely, this vehicle will be just over the top. It's not going to be very effective for its cost. I'm just going to spend a load of money to make something which I think will be fun to use, and just show domination to our enemies, because it's just going to be over the top in every single way. Lots and lots of money spent absolutely everywhere. I also want to use a heavy turret, just because I've never got to use them before. It's going to be useless on this airship, which I hope will have at least medium height, but I want to use one anyway. So to begin with, what we need to use is, if I go over here to lift, these lovely things, the large suspendium chambers. Large suspendium, no, please get off that, thank you very much. So what I would like is a 2 wide gap between them, and then bring one down a little bit. And this will be the back section. In fact, I think we're going to have 5 of them, because this is going to be incredibly heavy. Now, sadly, this game does have limitations to how big you can build your craft, and honestly, I don't think the game really likes you building particularly big things anyway. It definitely is harder to build extremely large vehicles than medium to large vehicles. Once you go past a certain threshold, suddenly you get the warning saying, oh, your structural integrity is low, because everything loses health past a certain size. On top of that, you just need so much lift to use any decent armor when you're going for the extreme side of things. And I definitely don't want this to be just pure efficiency, because that will end up with just one type of design, which I don't really want. I want a bridge, I want corridors for the sake of having corridors, just to bulk out the ship. It's not going to be the best. Just putting that out there again. That's not what we're designing for today. So with that, let's at least get some stuff started. So I want a bridge here, then I want a little walkway, then I want the first heavy cannon, then I want a second heavy cannon or perhaps deck guns, then I want an Imperial cannon, heavy cannons, that's a heavy turret, and then going back, perhaps Bombay doors, just for the sake of it. I don't want to use balloons if we can avoid it. Now, in the past, I did very quickly build this. Now this, I think, looks pretty cool. Do you agree? Because I agree. But the problem is, although it is over the top like before, this is just so inefficient in combat. It kind of breaks the rule. It's too inefficient, and I just called it the Blood from the Blood God. This is version 2. The balloons I actually really like this, because it looks like we've got several ships and just stuck them together. We have a little bridge here. So I'm looking for something like this, but not using balloons. So most likely we're going to use the compressed chambers. We're going to use extra chambers on the inside. I'm hoping it turns out okay. So with that, let's see if I can lay down some groundwork. A small change of plan. What we're going to do is we're going to use this old design. The reason is I can simply take off this bottom section here, edit a lot of the top section, and hopefully we can make something from this, because I've already kind of done this, and upon trying to make it again, I realised I am doing just that, making it again. So remove all of this bottom section, la-di-da-di-da. There we are. And then we can work on this. So right now, what I've got here is I've got these small coal stores, a fire extinguisher, and then a regular corridor. Now, after doing a lot of testing, this actually works. And I mean a lot of testing. Once one of these detonates, it doesn't destroy the next one. It will damage the coal, as you can possibly imagine. The explosion is quite harsh, and the coal just needs to be damaged for its store to get set on fire or simply removed. The problem was, because it didn't have anything underneath, it was literally halving the ship. So if this one detonates, it would knock out most of this, and occasionally, the thing would literally float away. If we're not using the balloons, we can build something underneath here, so that wouldn't be a major issue. Plus, since we can build underneath, we can remove some of these, and then just have regular coal stores underneath, which would be far, far better. It also frees up this space. So let's have a quick look, see what we've got then. We've got 2 deck guns, we have 1 aerial torpedo, we have ammunition here, we have 2 flat cannons, we have ammo here as well. Again, I did a lot of testing with this. That's not as bad as it looks. It's terrible, but not quite game-ending if it does detonate. We then have the heavy turret, telescope, and crow's nest. Here's the bridge. We have lots of bridges in the bridge, believe it or not, so we can bridge our bridge whilst we bridge. And that's pretty much the design right now. So, let's get to work. And just for reference, this thing is using full heavy steel armor. Now, once the thing's fully finished, what we can do is replace some of the less important areas with just regular armor or even just steel walls. But for now, this is the worst case scenario with the heaviest armor I want to use. And the weight is 35 per tile. Just for reference, a regular piece of steel wall is 1 weight. And if we look at the corridor, well, that's 3. The armor is very, very heavy, but it does make whatever's armored essentially immune to low arms fire. Even cannons struggle to do anything to this. You need heavy weapons to really hurt this. Already, we have slightly reduced structural integrity. Already. This thing is already suffering from lack of health. So that is the problem. We definitely need a keel, or we need several bows. I'm thinking we had a bow here. Then we bring this back, similar to how the Locust was originally shaped in the previous season. And then we perhaps have a keel here. Then we have a load more chambers on the inside. We could easily isolate some sections for the pressurized tanks as well. That might be the way to go. Either way, though, right now, I do want rifles. I think this is enough main weaponry, because this will be stronger than the Siege Walker from the last season, because remember, we do have double accuracy with cannons. These are almost always going to hit the target and do 120 damage per time. Against buildings or against any aircraft with vulnerable sections, these 5 are going to be deadly. And then we have all of this for anti-air, but I really do want some rifles. I want rifles facing backwards, I want rifles facing forwards, because they're just so good at being general-purpose nuisances. They take out balloons, they take out enemy borders, and occasionally they just take out something important, or just kill loads of crew members. Problem is, I don't really know where I want those rifles to go. I'm actually tempted to remove these 2 deck guns and then add 1 rifle here, because technically this isn't a thing. All of that gun there doesn't count. Only these 2 blocks are the size of the flat cannon. So we could have a rifle here, 2 rifles there, but I do love the deck guns, so I don't know. Maybe 1 rifle here. Keep 1 of the deck guns. Add a rifle here. That makes 2 rifles. Then we can always put 1 over here. It's not exactly close to ammo, but we can always put a small ammo store here or here without any major issues, especially if we armor it up. Can't put a rifle facing here, though, because of this. Don't know. But we do currently have slightly reduced structural integrity already. So right now, the health of everything has been nerfed, which is a problem. I just realised I repeated myself about the structural integrity. A, I am tired, and B, the structural integrity is very important. A little while later, and we are running into problems. Currently, it looks like the service ceiling is okay, but that's because I've reduced the heavy armor down to steel armor. This does mean we can add heavy armor to some of the weapons and the bombs and stuff, but it's not exactly a fantastic thing to see. We also now have significantly reduced structural integrity. Now, of course, that's a problem, because that's a significant amount of health, not a minor bit of health. For instance, these lovely chambers should be on... There we are. Should be on 400. They are now on 299. Yeah. A quarter health loss. Now, we can replace this by adding extra bows and stuff like that, but that would cost us more lift, so we're going to need more things like the pressurized tanks. Or even more chambers. And again, I want this to look full, and that's the problem. There's just not enough stuff to add to this thing. At least inside of the craft, and I don't want to simply repeat the Overwhelmer and have a single line down of weapons. So I need to figure out something. Doing a little bit of testing. Oopsie-daisy, should have stopped firing straight away. Miss, thank you. I have lowered the armor everywhere. I want to see what happens when areas here detonate. Also, I've now added so many keels, we have a health bonus, not a health minus. Hit this area. Piranhas, you're embarrassing your creator. But father, why are we shooting rockets at you? Because I told you to, son. Can you please detonate something important? come on! Well, here's one of the bonuses for being so large. Because they don't aim at one specific spot, the damage is so spread out. Hit this! Okay, good. What's on fire there? Nothing. Good. I think survivability, we're proving ourselves considering light armor. I feel far less worried right now. And yes, we are watching this together. I don't know why I'm not going to edit this, but I'm not going to. Note to self, Lathrix, don't edit this. Make them suffer with you. Look at our pollution! Can you even see that piranha? Lord, okay, good. That detonated, and what did it do? Good, that didn't detonate. Okay, that detonated. Didn't set off any of the others, though. That's what I wanted to see. Now do the same to the big lads. Don't make me shoot you. Okay, that went up, and what did it do? It took out nothing. Good, good. Okay, yeah, we're fine. That's all I wanted to check. I just looked at them and they detonated. Fire! That was quick. Jesus. We just kind of looked at them and they died. Okay. That went significantly better than I expected it to. Now we continue to build it and make it look a bit better. Happy days. Happy weeks. Happy months. Happy years. But no further than that, because that's just too much. Does that look a bit too segmented? Because I think that looks a bit too segmented and bland. The thing is, though, now we're in full medium armor, and we still have 1, 2, 3 service ceiling. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3. Am I really meant to change that? Also, we have over the recommended crew. Once again, purposefully not being efficient here. Bear that in mind. I understand there is no point in having this body section here, honestly. It's all for the greater fun. I am tempted to add a large suspendium chamber at the back. Could one of those there bring that down? That way we need less of these. Okay, in its current state, I have added heavy armor to everything important. So all of the ammunition stores, all of the weapons, all of the suspendium chambers, except for these small ones, maybe this top one, now has the heavy, incredibly heavy armor. So it's all weighed down. And we're still okay at 96 meters service ceiling. That's okay. I don't want this at the top of the map anyway, but I'm still a little bit concerned about that. We are also about to hit our maximum cost. We have already hit our maximum crew. So I need to consider where we're going to go with this. We still have a slight structural integrity minus, but now it's nowhere near as bad as it was before. For instance, the 400 health items up here are on 350. It's really not a huge issue, but that's because we have 2 of these huge keels, and we have the large bow and the small bow. The bows are more efficient in terms of weight to HP and in terms of cost to HP. So I'm thinking of doing is maybe putting a bow here. Also, has that been changed? There was a small patch today. Yes. Oh, okay. So actually, yeah, it's still the same. Yeah. It's now weight 300, HP 600, and the grand keels are weight 4,500, HP 6,000. So the keels are still more efficient, but no longer by well, just I think it was a factor of 3 before, I want to say, but still, yeah. Okay then, so we still want keels, but sorry, we still want bows. I always get them confused, but the keels aren't quite as bad. They're just so much easier to build with. What I'm thinking of doing is removing these 2 keels, bringing these up. No, keeping these the same, because if you recall, a 2 radius makes these safe, but squishing some of them together, giving them heavy armor rather than medium armor, then using struts all here and struts up here, so it looks like this whole area is connected via a sort of gangway. In fact, we could use decks more as well. That would definitely lighten the weight. Then add a bow and perhaps some small keels up here. Are these smaller keels still less efficient? That is a question I don't know the answer for, and of course I go into the wrong section like I always do. Small keel. Weight, 750. Increases health by 400. Whoa, that is terrible. So if we use keels, we need to use the grand keels. It's as simple as that. Otherwise, it's just horribly, horribly inefficient. Gotcha. Still want to use the large bow. Still want to do stuff around here. There's still more we can do. Also, the front kind of looks like a fish. Like, that's the mouth. That's like a nose section, like one of those, an anglerfish or something. And then there's a gill thing, or a fin. A fin gill. Phil. That's Phil there. Well, that's interesting. It looks like I need to pay more attention to just how the HP system works. For instance, we now have this large bow. It increases the ship's HP. Slightly reduced structural integrity due to large size. That will go away if you add enough stuff to counter it. For instance, if I were to go to... There we are, structural, and add the grand keel. It goes away despite the fact I've increased the size, because it's more about HP than size, but size decreases HP. Basic idea there. So you'd think this large bow would be an overall positive. I remove that, it no longer gives the warning. I need to be really careful and figure out just how the HP and weight system works, because clearly it isn't just about spamming the plus HP stuff. Oh, also I've added more rifles on its butt, because who does want butt rifles? Maybe it is actually more to do with the overall size than the health. As you can see here, these are meant to have 400 health. They have 657. That's a pretty big bonus. We add this, it increases, then it gives us the warning. So maybe I was wrong there. Maybe it is more to do with the overall weight of the craft. But right now, it seems like, yeah, everything has got a health bonus. Even stuff which isn't fully connected yet, which does weaken the health, by the way. Having more connection points increases the health of an item, as you can imagine. But yeah, that actually seems really sturdy. Oh, and by the way, I'm currently in full heavy armor because I've added, where are you? Well, full heavy armor everywhere just to see how that would go. Does that affect the hit points? I know obviously you're adding hit points, but does it affect the hit points of the module itself? Let's find out. Changing over to steel armor now, and no, it doesn't. Okay. I'm kind of happy about that because that would change how everything works in my mind. Good! My mind remains as terrible as it always has been. A dark, seeping void, crawling ever further. I think I can safely say, before we paint this, this is now the finished version. All I need to do is what I'm doing currently, which is lowering the armor on some of the unneeded sections. So sections which, if we lose them, won't cut off other sections or just aren't modules themselves. So needless corridors like this, which are there purely to pad out the size, and stuff like that. Now, the cost is extreme, and I will say that this is a pretty terrible craft for its cost. I am fully aware of that, but I think it's going to be near impossible to kill purely because of the size and the money that's gone into it. Although it is saying slightly reduced structural integrity, there's actually about a 20% health bonus on everything, so that's okay. I do need to learn exactly what that means, so I'll do that off camera. I do apologise for my ignorance with that. Some more armor there we go. I've added a load of the pressurized dust tanks over here. This means we actually have a load of heavy armor on this craft. All of the weapons and all of the modules are coated in the heaviest armor available to us, which can resist almost everything. So this craft should be incredibly difficult to kill. At least in theory. The one point I do have over here, though, is I can imagine this exploding and all sorts of issues being there. But I did test that out, and that didn't happen when this did detonate. I might still remove these two struts and just add some corridors or something here. Just to make sure this all doesn't split once that detonates. Or I could just remove this ammo store. We do have two ammo stores there, but these devour ammo, so maybe not. What I could do is maybe replace the ammo store for a small ammo store instead. Oh, yeah, add one small there, one small there. That is less efficient, but I think that would make this area a bit safer, or perhaps even here. Anyway, a few small changes left. Then we do some painting and decorating, and then I think the capital ship is finished. Terrible for its price, mostly because I've just padded out areas, so wanted those areas to be filled in. But it's going to work, and because of the cost, I think it's going to kill quite a few things. Time for some painting. Okay, so to begin with, ta-da! Everything is darkened, and that looks really cool. So, we do want to use our flag colour still, since that's what we've been doing the whole time, but I would like a bit of difference with that. But how would I make it different? I'm thinking making these separate colours, just to make them stand out from the main colours, that is. So perhaps... what about sort of browny orange, like this? Brownie orange? You mean brown, Lathrix? Yes, that's brown. It looked a bit different on the palette. Just so it's a bit different. Then we add our flag colours, which should be black down the centre than this on the sides if we're going for our flag itself. Which I don't think will look good. Okay, tempted to leave that. I'm not sure if that's a nose or a beak or something. Oh god, it's Pingu. Yay! Nope, no it's not. Okay, that's staying. Okay, I think any more decorations would go a little bit overboard, but I'm still not sold on the paint scheme. I've tried out lots of different versions, and I just can't decide. Now, of course, to be fair, we ain't never gonna be seeing it. But still, knowing it's there annoys me. Makes me irrationally angry. Why? I know this isn't a particularly fair fight, but I just want to see the damage potential. Aimed fire. Now remember, we will have double accuracy in the campaign. Which is really good. Lovely. Heard some death on the enemy side. Close up rapid. Shame I can only give it a command every 10 seconds because of the sheer amount of crew. I tried adding more bridges, by the way. It was just not working. There's just so many crew in such a large vehicle. Oh! Huge explosion. Fires here and there. Well, as expected, really. So, it wasn't a fair fight, but here's the thing. If we make it a fair fight, the Blood God loses. Let's put it out there. This is just so not worth the cost. It's almost like you could cut off this back section and make this a little bit higher up, and then it would still work just as well. But we are not going for that, darn it. We're going for a capital ship. And I like how it's turned out looks-wise. Well, because I'm running out of time right now, I think I've decided to call the episode here. Today has just been me messing around with building. I know some people are not the biggest fan of a pure building episode, but don't worry, the next episode is essentially going to be a pure combat episode, because we're going to try and win the campaign and then discuss our final options for the next season. So right now, I'm really thinking next season, just maximum difficulty, starting Tech 0, and upping how many monsters are on the map. A serious challenge where I need to build efficiently, where I need to build everything with a distinct purpose. This build was the opposite. It was just because we've got so far ahead, let's just build something which looks solid, which looks like a flying fortress almost, and I think I did a pretty good job. I don't think I did the best job, but building in this game, I find it difficult to make things look fantastic. I don't know if that's just me, but I really struggle with that, and it's something I need to improve on. So I both need to improve with looks, and I need to improve with functionality, and in the background, that's the derp derp. And with the derp derp, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Airships Conquer the Skies is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.